Hello children, today we are going to discuss magnetic dipole moment of our revolving electron. We know from the models of the atom that atom is spherical in shape, it has a centrally located point called nucleus and electrons are revolving around the nucleus in circular paths that we call orbits. So we can consider a simplest model of an electron something like this. Here you have a nucleus and then the electron is revolving around it. This electron is revolving with the velocity v, a radius of circular path is r. So this is how it is going to revolve along the circular path, right? So you see, as this electron is revolving around the nucleus, we can consider this electron like a single loop of current. If radius of circular path is r, we can consider a loop having what radius r, because we very well know that electric current is constituted in a circuit by the flow of electrons, right? So an electron revolving around the nucleus can be considered as a single loop. The radius of circular path of electron can be considered as the radius of the loop, and we have already done if current is allowed to pass through a loop, the loop acts as a magnetic dipole, right? And we derived an expression for it earlier in the videos, and then we said the dipole moment associated with the circle loop is equal to NIA, right? Okay. So we will be making certain assumptions. Mass of the electron is m, radius of circular path is r, and the velocity is v, right? So we will say electron revolving. So electron revolving around the nucleus acts as a loop. Clear? So dipole moment associated with the loop. We know m is equal to how much of children? NIA, right? So here we know n is 1, single turn we'll assume, and m for electron here will be denoting by mu. Actually children, it is angular dipole moment. Okay, it is angular dipole moment, and the word for this, the dipole moment which I am saying, the dipole moment here is actually angular dipole moment. Clear? Therefore, so for electron we are going to use a special term m is equal to mu. Therefore, angular dipole moment of electron is mu equals to I into A, right? N is 1. So I am going to put the value of I and I am going to put the value of A. Now let us understand it. What is current I? You have done current I is equal to charge divided by time, and the time it takes for electron to complete one full cycle. In fact, it is called time period, right? So we will say equivalent current, since electron is revolving, equivalent current I will be equal to Q by T, and then Q will be writing as E, charge of electron, and time will be capital T. Remember children, this capital T we are saying is the time period, the time it takes for electron to make one complete cycle. Now when this electron makes one complete cycle here, then how much distance does it travel? Equal to circumference, that is 2 pi r, and what is the velocity of electron? V. So we can say here two things. Number one, I is equal to E by T. E is E, and here time period we know is 2 pi r by V. Like we said, Then one complete cycle, how much distance is traveling? 2 pi r, and the velocity is v. So I'll put it here. 2 pi r by v. So how much do you get, children? E into v divided by 2 pi r. So this is current we calculated. I'll write down here. I equals to E into v divided by 2 pi r. This value of current I got. Now I need area. So area also we can calculate here. Area A, this you can very easily find. A is equal to how much, children? Pi r square. So I got the value of I and I also got the value of A. Now I'll put the values of I and A in equation 1. Okay. And that will give me the what? Angular dipole moment associated with electron. Therefore, dipole moment of electron is mu is equal to, this is from equation 1. I am going to equation 1. Mu is equal to I E into v by 2 pi r, and area is pi into r square. If we cancel out, then mu is equal to, we have EVR divided by 2. Pi and pi cancelling out, r is also cancelling out. So this is one expression that we got. Mu is equal to EVR divided by 2. So if you know the charge, if you know the velocity of electron, if you know the radius, I can directly calculate how much is mu. Now children, if you study Bohr's model, then you have done that electrons can take only those orbits around the nucleus in which the angular momentum is quantized. Yes, angular momentum is L equals to m into v into r. So we'll say like this, but angular momentum of electron m L equals to mvr. This is another expression I got. L equals to m into v into r. Right? So what I'll do is, this is equation 2 and this will be equation 3. L equals to mvr. And remember, this I'll say equation 3. Now I'll just divide equation 2 by equation 3 from 2 and 3. If I go to equation 2 and 3, then mu over L is equal to EVR by 2 mvr. Clear? And then we can write mu by L, VR will cancel out, is equal to E by 2m. So ratio of mu by L, remember mu is what? Angular dipole moment, and this is angular momentum, right? So we got here very important expression, mu by L E by 2m. And children, this term mu by L, it has a specific name. It's called gyromagnetic ratio. Mu by L is called gyromagnetic ratio. Clear? And when you look at the value of gyromagnetic ratio, E is a universal constant and mass of electron is also universal constant. So if you put this value, E is equal to 1.6 × 19 coulomb, and the mass of electron is children 9.1 × 10⁻31 kilogram. If I put this value, then mu by L comes to 8.8 × 10⁻10 coulomb per kilogram. So this is the value of gyromagnetic ratio. So if you have to answer the value of gyromagnetic ratio, then you have to know gyromagnetic ratio is the ratio of magnetic dipole moment and angular momentum of electron and its value is 8.8 into 10 power 10 coulomb per kilogram. Clear? Now remember, L is the what? Angular momentum. Okay. Now children, once you got the value of gyrometric ratio, I look at equation 4 again, and I'll say from equation 4, mu is equal to, remember always mu is what? Magnetic dipole moment, also called angular dipole moment, okay, is equal to E by 2m into L. But you know that mu is also a vector quantity, L is also a vector quantity. So we will be writing in vector form mu vector is equal to charge on electron is what? Negative. So minus E by 2m into L vector. Now here we come across a very interesting result. Negative sign here. Negative sign shows, mu can be written as mu L also, where mu is same as mu L. This is angular dipole moment or magnetic dipole moment, same terms. So mu I can also write as mu L. So angular dipole moment or magnetic dipole moment is minus E by 2m into angular momentum. Now what is the significance of negative sign? The negative sign shows that L and mu L or mu, they are directed in opposite direction. Okay. So here negative sign shows that, so here negative sign shows that mu L and L are in opposite direction. If I go back to equation 5 again, from equation 5, if I want to write this equation in angular in only scalar form, the relation between mu L and angular momentum, then mu L can be written as E by 2m into L. Now children, this L is very significant for us. According to Bohr's model, we have done L is equal to MVR is equal to NH upon 2 pi. Now I am going to substitute this value of L. I am going to put L equals to NH upon 2 pi. So if I put here L equals to NH upon 2 pi, then I get another value for the dipole moment, angular dipole moment, and therefore we get hence mu is equal to E by 2m into NH upon 2 pi. What I did, I just replaced L with NH upon 2 pi. This result is in agreement with Bohr's model. You can also add mu is equal to NEH divided by 4m pi. Now this is another interesting result. I will call it equation 6. That means this electron, not necessarily it is located in the first orbit, not necessarily in the ground state, it can be located in any of these Ng states. If in the lowest Ng state, for example in hydrogen it will be 1, but it can be promoted, upgraded to the next orbit energy level depending upon its what energy. Suppose it is in the second orbit, then I will put N is equal to 2, third orbit N is equal to 3. That means each and every electron will have its own value of the angular dipole moment, right, associated with it. Now the minimum value of angular dipole moment will come when N is equal to 1, and this minimum value is called Bohr's magneton. So if somebody will ask what is Bohr's magneton, then minimum value of angular dipole moment or magnetic dipole moment of electron is known as Bohr's magneton. Okay. So here we have a term Bohr's magneton, and we denote it by Bm. Clear? So for Bohr's magneton, N will be 1. N will be 1. If I put here N is equal to 1, Then Bm, Bohr's Manhattan is mu m, we write. The lowest value of mu is written as mu m. That's often when I put n is equal to 1. So if I put here n is equal to 1, what do I get, children? I get E into h divided by 4 m pi. And this is called 1 Bohr's magneton. Okay. Now children, here you see that E is a constant, h is a constant, pi and mass of electron, all universal constants. If we put all these values, then we get the numerical value of Bohr's constant. You put here E equals to 1.6 10 to the minus 19, h is equal to 6.6 10 to the minus 34 joule second, and mass of electron is how much? 9.1 10 to the minus 31 kilogram. If I put all these values in a solve, and pi of course is 22/7, then I get 1 Bm is equal to 9.27 into 10 to the minus 24 ampere meter square. And you are supposed to remember this value. 1 Bm, Bohr's Manhattan, is the least value of angular dipole moment, or simply what? Magnetic dipole moment of electron. Here when n is equal to 1. We are deriving this value from here, and its value is 9.27 to the minus 24 ampere meter square. Clear? So children, we understood in this derivation that when electron revolves on the nucleus, it acts as a single loop of current and produces a magnetic dipole moment, right? And dipole moment associated with electron is this much, right? And the lowest value is called Bohr's Manhattan. But remember, as the electron goes around the nucleus, actually electron has two motions occurring at the same time. This is how electron is going around it in the circular path, right? But at the same time, as the electron goes around the nucleus, it spins on its axis. Two motions are there. It's called diurnal motion. Diurnal motion is the two motions. One is spin motion the electron is having. It spins around its axis while it moves around the nucleus in circular path. So when electron is spinning, it again contributes what? Extra to the dipole moment associated with electron. Okay. So we will be seeing what will happen. Here we had this important relation. This contribution came from the revolution of electron around the nucleus. Okay. Now we will also see what contribution will be made when electron is spinning and going around the nucleus. Okay. Let's say this spin note, actually electron is spinning about its axis, and then it is moving around the nucleus. So if spin angular momentum is S, then we have spin dipole moment mu s is equal to minus E by m into S. So we already saw angular dipole moment. Now we have what? Spin dipole moment again. So if somebody will ask you what is the total dipole moment associated with electron, so I will say therefore total dipole moment associated with electron mu total is equal to mu L angular dipole moment plus spin dipole moment, because electron is not going like this, it is spinning about its axis and then going around the nucleus. Clear? So if you put in the value, children, then this is minus E by 2m into L plus minus E by m into S. So here minus E by 2m you can take outside, so you get L plus 2s. Clear? So this is, children, total dipole moment associated with electron. Clear? So I am sure that you understood it now. We will move on to a few sample problems from this chapter. Okay. Now children, we will be seeing some sample problems. For example, suppose I give you a loop having 10,000 turns. Clear? Current, we have 2 ampere and area 200 centimeters square. And they ask you, what is its magnetic dipole moment? So you can just use m is equal to NIA, right? Now N we have how much? 10 to the power 4. I is how much of 2? A is area in centimeter square, we need to convert into meter square. So we multiplying 200 into 10 to the power minus 4. Clear now? So what do we get? 4 into 10 to the power 2 or 400, we have ampere meter square. So they can give you simple sums like this. Now remember that if it is given in what? Vector form, then you have to use the vector form, and then accordingly you can use m is equal to Ni into A. And again, if there is a problem on the torque, you can use torque is equal to Ni into A cross B, or simply torque is equal to M cross B. So you have to very carefully here, you have to take cross product. Okay, let's see a problem on this. Till now we will see this problem now. A closely wound solenoid of 2000 turns and area of cross section 1.6 10 to the power minus 4 meter square, carrying a current of 4 ampere is suspended through its center, allowing it to turn in a horizontal plane. It's turning in a what plane? This plane, horizontal plane, right? You have to calculate what is its magnetic moment and what are the force and torque acting on the solenoid if a uniform horizontal field of 7.5 into 10 minus 2 Tesla is set up at 30 degree with the axis of the solenoid. Now this is a very easy problem. We answer the first case. See here, let's see what is given. What all is given, children? Given is number of turns is given. How much is that? 2000 turns. Then what else is given? Area 1.6 10 minus 4 and current is how much? 4 ampere. So we have area is 1.6 10 to the power minus 4 meter square and current I is how much? How many ampere, children? 4 ampere. So it's a very easy question. First thing you have to calculate is the moment on it, magnetic moment. M is equal to, children, NIA. You just have to substitute the values and you have to do simple calculation. So this is 2000. I is how much? 4. A is 1.6 10 to the minus 4. Clear? So we have 8 into 1.6 and 10 to the power minus 1. Clear? So multiply 1.28 ampere meter square. So this is the dipole moment which the solenoid is going to experience. Now the second thing is we are applying a uniform magnetic field, and when we place a coil in a uniform magnetic field, then what will be the net force on it? It will experience, we said no, a couple, and net force will be how much here? 0. So how much net force, children? 0, because it will experience a couple. Theta is given at how many degrees? 30 degrees. So net force will be how much here? 0. There will be no net force. There will be couple and the coil will start what? Rotating. So torque developed will be, you know, it is mb sin theta, right? And then we already calculated 1.28 into 10 raised to the power minus, into B. How much magnetic field, children? 7.5 into 10 to the power minus 2 Tesla. and sin 30. Right? Sin 30 is how much? Half. So 1.28 7.5 into 10 power minus 2 into 2. Right? We have 0.64 into 10 power minus 2 joule. What unit of torque? Joule, or you can also write Newton meter. So this was a very easy problem that we saw, but this kind of sums will be getting in the exam, so make sure you understand it. Okay. Alright children, here a problem, a short bar magnet of magnetic moment 5.25 into minus 2 joule per Tesla is placed with its axis perpendicular to Earth's magnetic field. Clear? At what distance from the center of the magnet on number 1 equatorial line is perpendicular bisector, and number 2 on the axis, the resultant is inclined at 45 degree with the Earth's magnetic field. Now this angle may not be 45 degree, it can be made what? Different also. Okay. And children is given that intensity of Earth's magnetic field is how much? 0.42 Gauss. Okay. And we need to convert this field into Tesla. Right? Let's start doing it. We can assume something like this. This is direction of Earth's magnetic field BE. Right? B, and then we have this bar magnet whose axis is perpendicular to this axis. Clear? So the bar magnet, suppose we place like this, just short bar magnet like this, and assume this is north pole of the magnet, this is south pole of the magnet. And they want you to find the point, case 1, point on the equatorial line at which the resultant magnetic field, meaning resultant magnetic field means Earth's magnetic field is already there, and this magnet will also produce its magnetic field. At a point of the perpendicular bisector, we know magnetic field is something like this. We have already done derivation of magnetic field to a bar magnet at a point on the perpendicular bisector or equatorial line, right? So this is magnetic field to the magnet. Now these two fields will superimpose and they will produce what? A net magnetic field. It will be something like this. This will be net magnetic field. And this is what I need to calculate. This angle is given as theta. Suppose in exam they may not give you 45, they can give you 30 degree, they can give you 60 degree, whatever. So I will solve it by taking theta, and then I will put theta is equal to 45 degree. So you will have a natural general solution for this. So magnetic field to the bar magnet is how much here? B. I will say first part, let field due to bar magnet at equatorial line B. So children, we got two fields as you can clearly see. This is B and this is B due to the magnet, and this is the net magnetic field B. And how much is this angle? Theta. Clear? So clearly from this diagram, B, and this angle is theta. So tan theta is how much, children? Tan theta is equal to, we have B by B, and this implies that B is equal to B tan theta. So we got one equation out here that can be easily used by us. Now we know, but theta is given as 45 degree, and B is magnetic field to the bar magnet, and magnetic field due to a short bar magnet at any point on the perpendicular bisector we have done. B is equal to B equatorial, and that is mu naught by 4 pi m by r cube. So we put everything out here. So what do you get, children? We get mu naught by 4 pi m by r cube is equal to b. Now there is another thing that we have to do. B we have been given as 0.42 Gauss, right? And this Gauss needs to be converted into Tesla. And for converting Gauss into Tesla, we multiply with 10 to the minus 4. So we will multiply with 0.42 into 10 to the minus 4. This becomes in Tesla. So we substitute everything out here. B is 0.42 10 to the minus 4. So this is a simple equation. I need to solve it for R. M is already given to us. The value of M. We insert all these values. So what do we get, children? Mu naught by 4 pi we know 10 to the minus 7. M we know 5.25 10 raised to the power minus 2 divided by R cube equals to 0.42 into 10 to the minus 4. So from here R cube becomes, children, 5.25 into 10 to the minus 9 divided by 0.42 minus 4. 12.5 into 10 to the minus 5. So you can write R cube is equal to 125 into 10 to the minus 6, right? And then you know this is 5 cube and this 10 to the minus 2 cube. So you can write R cube is equal to 5 into 10 to the minus 2 whole cube. So how much is R therefore? 5 into 10 to the minus 2 meter. If you want to convert into centimeter, R is equal to how much, children? 5 centimeter. So that means when I locate a point at a distance of 5 centimeter from the center of the bar magnet along the perpendicular bisector, then this angle theta will be how much here? 45 degree. So this is part 1 of the question. And then they are saying what will be the location of a point on the axis at which the angle is again 45 degree. Okay. So let's work on the second case, case 2. Okay. Now children, let's take a point P here on the axial point, and the distance of the point is R from the center of the bar magnet. The distance is R. At given point P, magnetic field to the magnet will be like this, B, and then Earth's magnetic field as usual is directed upwards like this, B. And this angle is how much, children? Again theta is equal to 45 degree. Clear? So case 2 I will do. Case 2, let distance of the point is R, and you know in case of bar magnet all the distances are taken from where? From the center of the bar magnet. So from the vector diagram again we know that tan 45 is equal to B by B, just as we did earlier. How much tan 45? There is 1. So this shows that B is equal to B tan 45. So B is equal to how much here? B, right? And we already know magnetic field at any point on the axial position, B on the axis actually is B, and there is mu naught by 4 pi 2m by R cube. Clear? So if I insert this value here, therefore we have mu naught by 4 pi 2m by R cube is equal to B, and how much is B, children? 0.42 into 10 to the minus 4. We converted again Gauss into Tesla, and for that you multiply it 10 power minus 4. So if you solve it here, put in the values. mu naught by 4 pi is how much here? 10 power minus 7. So 10 power minus 7 into 2 into how much is m? 5.25. 10 power minus 2 divided by r cube, children, equals to 0.45 into 10 power minus 4, right? So we solve for r cube. R cube is equal to, we have 10.50 into 10 to the minus 9 divided by 0.42. 0.42 into 10 power minus, okay? R cube equals to 125 into 2 into 10 power minus 6 is basically the same thing which you did last time, only one extra 2 is coming because of 2m. So R will be equal to cube root of 125 into 2 into 10 power minus 6 to the power 1 by 3. And already know R will be 5 into 10 to the power minus 2 into cube root of 3. Clear? And cube root of 2 will be, children, will be nearly 1 plus 1 by 3 if I use binomial theorem, right? And this will be 1.33. So it will be 5 into 1.33 into 10 to the minus 2 meter. And if you want to convert into centimeter, so it will be 5 into, nearly it will be how much? 6.5 centimeter. Okay. Right, children, here you have a problem. A long straight horizontal cable carries a current of 2.5 ampere in the direction 10 degree south of west to 10 degree north of east. Let's understand it. This is geographic axis. We have north, south, this is east and this is west. So this is geographic north south. Now this is a very long cable. Here we have, this is how the cable is placed. It is placed 10 degrees below towards south of west, this 10 degree, or it is 10 degree north of east, like this. And then they are saying magnetic meridian happens to be at this particular place, magnetic meridian happens to be oriented at 10 degrees west of north. So this is the magnetic meridian. I mean, this is how, this is the plane in which Earth's magnetic field is located, and that is directed at 10 degrees west of north. Clear? Or 10 degrees east of south. You can understand like this. Now children, this is south magnetic and this is north magnetic. This is geographic north and this is geographic south. I hope this is clear to you. Now if I ask you, because we know the south pole of Earth's magnetic field points towards geographic north. If I am using right hand rule, then this is how the current is coming, this is how the field is coming up, right? Field is directed like this, outward. Now this field is going to be opposite to the what? Earth's magnetic field at this place. Clear? They are saying dip is 0. We know also at the equator delta is how much? 0. So we have two situations. One is the magnetic field produced by this cable, current carrying cable, at a certain distance r, this is how the cable is. At a perpendicular distance, at distance r, when you look at this, then Earth's magnetic field is directed from what? North to south. This is Earth's magnetic field, and this is the magnetic field to the what? Cable. At a certain point P here, both the fields are directed in what? Opposite direction. This is one criteria. And we know at equator delta is equal to how much here? 0. So we will say, given Earth's magnetic field here B is 0.33 Gauss, we convert to Tesla, and for converting to Tesla we multiply with what? 10 power minus 4. Clear? Now BH is equal to horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field will be B cos delta. So B is 0.33 into 10 power minus 4 cos 0. And how much cos 0, children? 1. So we get here BH is equal to 0.33 into 10 power minus 4 Tesla. And you know the criteria of neutral point is that magnetic field at a given point is equal and opposite to the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. This wire is very long wire, straight wire. So for let magnetic field due to straight wire is equal to B. So we will be how much, children? Mu naught I by 2 pi r, right? And for getting neutral point at distance r here from the wire, B has to be equal to how much here? BH. So for neutral point, children, we have B equals to BH, and BH we already know this much, and B we know this much. We will be inserting the values. So this implies that mu naught I by 2 pi r is 0.33 into 10 power minus 4. Now let's substitute the value, children. Mu is how much? 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 into I. I is how much, children? 2.5 divided by 2 pi into r. I have to calculate, and that is equal to 0.33 into 10 power minus 4. Cancel out. This is 2. So finally we get how much here? 5 into 10 power minus 7 divided by r is equal to 0.33 into 10 power minus 4. So r is equal to how much, children? R will be 5 into 10 power minus 7 divided by 0.33 into 10 power minus 4. Clear? So r will be 15 into 10 power minus 3 meter. Right? Or r is 1.5 into 10 power minus 2 meter, or r is equal to 1.5 centimeter. So this is a very simple problem, and we used the concept of neutral points, that for neutral points to occur, the magnetic field to a magnet or a current carrying wire will be equal and opposite to the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. Okay.